If you watch the campaign that Kamala Harris is running, if you watch what the media are doing, it's encapsulated in this book. If you want to focus in on the media, unfreedom of the press. If you want to focus in on the ideology, American Marxism. If you want to focus in on the party, what the party's doing with the media, with the ideology, in terms of practical politics, right now, what's taking place? The Democrat Party hates America. Yesterday, I had a follow-up meeting with the doctor, and he had a nurse with him. Obviously, they know who I am, and she starts to ask me questions. She's kind of on the fence. So I spent 10 minutes explaining to her, not just politics, but about why it's important to her in her individual life and her husband and her child. That the people who reject Americanism be defeated. That price controls, that open borders, that indoctrination in our schools and a lack of school choice for people who can't afford anything but those local failing government schools. I explained to her in 10 minutes how regulations, how taxation, how they kill production, how they kill development, how they kill the very tools and medicines that are in this office, how they will kill her job. If the government takes over health care, you think they're going to leave the Eye Vision Institute alone? I'm not giving you the real name. Of course not. That'll affect your salary. That'll affect the doctor's salary who was standing right there. Who are these people that we're supposed to entrust? They're bureaucrats. How did they get their job? Is it because they're experts? Hell no. Is it because they know something that you don't know? Of course not. They're bureaucrats. So why do we vote to grant power to them that belongs to you? Empower yourself to make these decisions. And I'm not going to get into all of it, but I went into it. It was 10 minutes, then it became 15 minutes. I had to go, and I said, but I have to go. And she said, Mr. Levin, thank you. I've never had anybody explain it to me that way. This is a college-educated young lady who was probably going to vote for Harris. She wasn't sure. She's now going to vote for Trump. You have this power. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be a broadcaster. You don't have to write books. You've learned, you watch this, you subscribe to this network. Many of you have read these books. You don't even have to read them all. Just have some kernel of wisdom, some kernel of knowledge, 5, 6, 7 points to explain to that individual why they shouldn't vote for tyranny and why these people who say they're going to be the great deliverers deliver nothing. Who are these people? And yet, when these people have an interaction with a bureaucrat, whether it's at the DMV or the post office or here and there, and I'm not trashing anybody. I have a very good relationship with the people I work with at the DMV and the post office. That's not the point. I don't ask them for medical care either. I don't want them to do, cataract operations on my eye either. There's a difference about putting out licenses and producing mail. And so the point is, you have this capacity. Now, if you have a neighbor or a friend or a coworker or a relative who's dug in, that's different. That's a project. I'm talking about people who can't make up their mind or they're not sure, they don't like a tweet or they don't like this or they don't like that. That's your target audience. Look, folks, we're not going to save the country by relying on the Republican Party, by relying on a candidate, by relying on me. Each of us in our own role have to influence a person or two or three or five. We have got to be the Paul Reveres and the Thomas Paines. You have more access to information now than you ever had any other time in your life. That's the nature of technology and progress. That's how it works. More access than ever before. Just take a little bit of it and use it. You know, there are tens of millions of us. We're an army of patriots. We're an army of people who love this country. I don't give a damn what's going on in the Democratic convention. What a freak show. Outside that convention, people supporting terrorists against the Jews, people burning the American flag and replacing it with the Palestinian flag. These are sick bastards. Point it out. Explain it. Show the hypocrisy of the Obamas. Show that Bernie Sanders is an old Stalinist, that Kamala Harris is an unaccomplished, radical leftist who will do anything for power, who hasn't received a single vote for president. You can do this. You have to do it, or we're going to lose the country. We talk about the great middle class or the silent majority rising up. We Americans, we don't just rise up. That's not how we're built. But we can do a lot under the radar, behind the scenes, that the media won't notice, that the Democrat Party won't notice. Tens of millions of us. You speak to somebody, they speak to somebody. I'll give you another example. People say to me, you know, you're on Fox, maybe you have a couple million viewers. You're on radio, maybe over a week's time you have 14 and a half, 15 million listeners. It's the same people listen. Wait a minute. If the people watching or listening, you here on LEVIN TV, if you speak to other people, it's not just you. It's not just you. It's you and the people you talk to. Think about that. You talk to somebody, they talk to somebody else. You talk to two people, they talk to somebody else. Whether you're watching me here on the Blaze or listening to me on the radio or on Fox, whether you've read something, whether you follow somebody else, you have enormous capacity to influence an enormous number of people. You tell somebody, and they tell somebody. How do you think the country was founded? Through pamphlets, through word of mouth, at pubs, at churches. Farmer talking to farmer. Blacksmith talking to blacksmith. That's how it works. That hasn't gone away. Forget about MSNBC and CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post. Forget about all of them. You have power. You have power that you haven't used. You have power that you can't imagine. The power of free speech. That First Amendment exists for you. The power of free speech. Use it now or lose it.
For more, sign up for LEVIN TV.